you an entrepreneur who's trying to scale to seven figures, but you are so overwhelmed? Your business has gotten so big and so complicated that you feel like you're working around the clock. If you answered yes to that, this episode is for you because I have the one and only Judy Weber here today. Welcome to Turn Clicks into Clients, Lead Generation Secrets for Entrepreneurs. My name is Tamara Milliken, and I'm an ex-corporate girl turned entrepreneur, business coach, mom, and CEO. And as a multiple Sales Rep of the Year award winner for the two largest medical device companies in the world, I created this podcast so that I could share all that I had learned about how to grow your business by giving you simple, actionable, step-by-step strategies to automate your business so you can make more money and live the life of your dreams. She is setting the gold standard for business coaching for Christian women, and she helps people have a joyful business. And I love the word joyful. It just brings such a smile to my face every time I say that, because I think that when you grow your business to the level that we're all reaching for, sometimes the joy kind of goes out of it in that process. And so I'm super excited to interview Judy today because she is an expert at helping people make sure that they're high achieving and they're successful, but they're also happy and enjoying what they're doing at the same time. And sometimes they don't all go together. So welcome, Judy.
Thank you so much, Tamara. That's so true. Joy is so important.
Why
would we do something if it's not fun?
I know, exactly. I know. And I have to say, your credentials are super impressive. Judy is a former corporate and trial attorney, as well as a C-suite executive. So before she became an entrepreneur, she was doing amazing things as a corporate woman. And I love how you've done both things, because I think that's such a great set of experience to bring to the table. And she helps people confidently step into that CEO role in their business so they can be strategic, but be confident at the same time and speak with authority. So I love that you are doing this, because I find so many people that work with me are feeling stressed and lacking in these areas. So let's talk. Can't wait to do this. So I guess what I'd like to know is, tell us a little bit about how people can grow systematically to that 6 or 7 figure level without, stressing themselves out, without sacrificing their family or their marriage or just their overall happiness.
It's funny. I don't know about you, Tamara, but I have ideas all day long. And so my notes in my phone or I text to myself ideas. And just earlier this afternoon, I thought, intentionality is hitting me hard. And what I mean by that is, I think too many times, and I work with female entrepreneurs, we have so much going on, and then we only pour onto that because we think we have to do more than we really have to do. So having been a medical malpractice defense attorney and having to know medicine and then make that complex simple to present it to the judge and to the jury, I'm a master at taking complicated things and making them simple. So to get to your first 6 figures, it's 3 steps: irresistible offer, joy-infused marketing, and sell to serve selling mastery. That's it. I mean, there's lots of things we can layer onto that, but the number one thing we have to do to get business is talk to people. And not just talk at them, but have conversations and build relationship. So my first thing is intentionality, simplicity, and thinking strategically. And I could go on all day about strategic, so I'll wait for your next question.
Right. No, I think that's so true. Strategy is everything, and strategy today is very different than it was 2 or 3 years ago. A lot has changed, especially in the digital space. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago, Facebook groups were all the rage. Everybody wanted to get in and find the right ones, find good ones, right? Community. And it is funny. I don't know if the pandemic had anything to do with it, but I find that maybe part of it's the algorithms too, where Facebook groups, for example, used to be a great marketing avenue, and now it's not very active. You have to really pull teeth to get people to engage. Even when you're out there, giving such value inside the Facebook group. That's one example. Another is, gone are the days when you can succeed as a generalist. Ain't happening these days. I mean, people want specialists, and I love kind of going to the doctor framework. We could go to a GP. We go to the family doctor for certain things. But when stuff really happens, like cancer, God forbid, or some sort of specific ailment, we go to specialists. And so everyone listening, no matter what your field or industry or expertise, you need to not only be, like me, a business coach, but what is your genius? Like, what do you do? And what do you want to be known for? And then wrap your messaging and branding around that very, again, intentionally. And what makes that work is, number one, knowing what you are and who you are. And number two, so importantly, this might be even more so, knowing your ideal client intimately. Like, you know them so well that you can talk about their life in your emails or in your posts, and they're just like, oh my goodness, she knows me. What is she doing? Spying on me?
Right. Yes. So I find that as my business has grown, I am working around the clock. I wanted this to be a business that worked in my lifestyle with my family and busy kids and a lot of the things we like to do. And I find that the bigger it gets, the more I am working more and spending less time with my family than I originally thought. And it concerns me. Some days I'm like, oh boy, what have I done? Right. But yet I love it at the same time. So do you ever find that with other women that you work with, and how do you help them find that balance?
Yes. Women, I've never met a woman that said, I'm starting this business to become a gajillionaire. Every single one has said, yes, the money's great, but I really love people and I want to serve them. And of course, we love our family. So that kind of push and pull, I hear all the time. And time really is our most precious resource. So two things come up when you mention that scenario, which I hear all the time. And even I grapple with it at times. We have to, again, this is the word of the hour, I guess, intentionality. We have to be intentional with our time, and we have to decide ahead of time our pockets of time when we will not work. And that will ebb and flow. Like right now, my team and I are getting ready to roll out a couple of neat things in the next month or two and even into 2023. So I'm putting in long hours. But after this kind of ramping up, I'm going to go back to my normal. And so time blocking for me is specific task, very specific task in a specific time frame. Okay, that's step one. It's not looking at a to-do list. To-do lists, no, throw them away. What you do is you transfer all your to-dos into a calendar and you say, I am going to engage on Facebook for these 15 minutes. And then I'm going to engage on Instagram with these 15 minutes. And when that ding, ding, ding alarm goes, we've got to honor that time block. That's ginormous, and it's so hard for us to do. Or how about this? I'm thinking of the moms out there with little ones, and they're tugging on your skirt, so to speak, right? And mommy, mommy, mommy. And then you get pulled off task. Or how about kids are in school and, oh, the notifications go off. And then you're like, oh, who sent me that? And, we've got to time block in that way, specific task, specific time. We've got to honor the time block. And then the other thing that comes up when you reach past six figures, and especially past the 200,000 and 300,000, we've got to invest in team. And I know from my own self that you're going to fail more than you're going to succeed, but that's okay. We've got to go through this process of finding the right people. And may I say, being bold enough to say, I'm going to be very specific about the person I want. I'm not just going to take a warm body. And there's ways of doing that. And there's so much more I could say about the whole team thing, but we have to re-examine how we look at team. It's not an expense. When you set it up right, and when you set up KPIs and goals, whether they're an actual employee or an independent contractor, they actually can help drive revenue. And so you realize whatever you're paying them, you're getting $2, $3, $4, $5 or more back for every dollar you spend. And when you have all that in place, your time becomes a little bit freer.
I got it. Yeah, that's such good advice. I love that. So tell us a little bit about how it works in your program? I know that you do an amazing job with people. Your reputation is second to none in some of the networking groups and masterminds that I'm in. Everybody loves working with you. That's part of your world. But I don't know specifically about your process. I'd love to hear about that.
Well, we talked about the word joy, and my 3 steps to scaling is exactly that, JOY. Okay, so the first step is the jump start. And that's kind of a misnomer, but I had to find a J. And so the jump start, before we can really jump ahead, we've got to slow down. And so there, I work with my clients to really dive into their brand strategy, their marketing strategy, and their sales strategy. You really have to, what I find is that women can get to multi-six figures without, on a superficial level, without really thinking things through deeply. Look, I'm a lawyer and I play to win, and I think strategically, and I anticipate things. And so as a part of working with my clients, whether one-on-one or in the mastermind, I actually teach them how to think, how to power think, how to strategically think, and look at, what are you doing in your marketing? What I find is we're doing too many things. We've got to focus. We've got to constrain ourselves. And in the way of sales, a lot of times they're like, oh, a sales strategy? I don't know what that means. So that jumpstart is all strategic think work. Then when the strategy is in place, we go on to the second step, which is optimize. That's when we look at team. I look at your whole org chart. If you don't have one, we create one. And then we also look at systems and SOPs. And then we finally look at automations in order to optimize every moment and everything that you and your team members are doing. And then the last step is why, for yield. And that's just not what is the company yielding in the way of dollars and cents, like revenue and profit. A lot of times people forget about the profit. Okay. Profit is more important than revenue. I mean, you need the revenue to get to the profit, but we need to pay ourselves, ladies. So we look at that, but we also look at what's the client experience like? What are client results? Are they getting what they came for and what you promised? And then the referral and affiliate type opportunities as well. So those 3 steps, the jumpstart, the optimize, and the yield, is my joyful scaling method.
Oh, I love that. Is it a 6-month program or a year? How does it work?
Right now, it's a year, but starting in 2023, I'm revamping the whole thing actually, and it's going to be a 6-month container, jumping things off with a live 3-day event.
Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome.
And what's going to happen is I'm going to teach in those 3 days my entire philosophy and process, and then the next 6 months we implement like crazy.
I love it.
Together. It's going to be so good.
Yeah, so good. So good. How did you go from being a corporate attorney to this? This is just amazing to me.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, there were many detours. Okay. My first business I started in 2003 when my kids were 2, 4, and almost 7. And I had just left the practice of law a couple of months. I'm serious. It was only a couple of months. And I cried to my mom on the phone. I go, how do you do this? This is so hard. So that was hard, just doing that and, chasing after 3 little boys. But also, I think I know God made me to do things. And mothering is my accomplishment that I'm most proud of. My boys are good boys and they're men that women actually want to marry. I mean, I'm just so proud of them. But I started this interior design business and I was very strategic. And I got a booth at a home show. And that weekend I walked away with 14 appointments. And then I got 10 clients out of that. So all of a sudden I went like, oh my gosh, now I got these clients. How am I going to do it? So I've been gifted by the Lord to have this strategic marketing mind and sales acumen. I've been in sales pretty much since graduating college. And so, the law, of course, I'm selling my case to the jury. So there's a lot of skill sets. And I will say this. As I work with more and more corporate women who, like me, it was like, great, I got this great job, my corner office, quote unquote, I got a great salary, but why does this feel so icky? And what I find is they're like, you know what? They're powerhouses in corporate, but they've got this mindset where they're like, do I really have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? And I say, look at what you've accomplished. I'm telling you, there's a lot of skill sets that make it for an easy transition and easier than they think, for sure.
For sure. Everyone sells. I love what you said earlier. Everyone sells. Even if you don't think you have sales skills or you don't need sales skills, everyone sells.
Yeah.
Such an important skill to have. I love that. All right. I know we have to let this interview come to an end. I'm sorry about that because there's so many more questions I want to ask you, but we're running out of time. I know you have a free gift for our listeners today. Could you tell us about that?
Yes, I would love to. I would love to send to all of your beautiful listeners my ultimate scaling guide for proven strategies for exponential growth. And this is not just like a one sheet. This is 20 pages, more like a workbook style. So what I do is I lay out these powerful strategies, scaling strategies for you. And then I pose questions so that you can think through this. And as you work through the workbook, you're actually putting together your scaling plan. So then all you have to do is implement. So you can grab that for free at judyweber.co, judyweber.co. At the very top, you'll see a cute little banner there. Just pop that in. We'll send it right over.
Oh, I love it. It is a fabulous resource. And I think that in any other scenario, people would pay big money for this. So ladies, or whoever's listening today, please grab it because you won't be disappointed. It is an amazing resource. And Judy, it has been so nice talking to you today. I love what you're doing. I think it is such a gift to women who have built these amazing businesses, but now are at a point where they need help with the scaling piece to keep their sanity. So yeah. I think that you're just wonderful and such a breath of fresh air in the business. So thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Tamara, so much for allowing me to be here. It was my honor.
Thanks for listening today. If you've enjoyed this, please subscribe and share with a friend or colleague. By giving the show a 5-star rating and written review, you help other business leaders find us. My music is courtesy of Premium Beat, which is a great source for royalty-free music. Until next time, I'm your host, Tamara Milliken. Remember, you are the most important factor in reaching your goals and living your dreams.